Now, if you were driving along and came across somebody just walking on the road, weaving in and out maybe of lanes, would you just look and wonder and go, what's going on? Slowly go by if this person was in your way, or would you stop and see if there was anything that you could do? That scenario played out over the weekend, and one man has been praised for stopping his car on a busy highway outside of Tauranga to talk to a distressed man who was standing in the lane of traffic. Tom Rutherford is his name. He also happens to be a national MP for the Bay of Plenty, and he joins me now. Tom, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leah. Great to be with you.
Hey, look, this is not something you see every day, is it? Thank goodness. Someone in traffic on foot. Firstly, this happened on Saturday afternoon, didn't it, Tom? Where were you heading? Or where were you? Yeah, what were you doing?
My fiancée Hannah and I had just been at the Te Puna Harvest Market, which is a bit of a rural community in my Bay of Plenty electorate, and we were coming back home. We live in Papamoa, so heading back through Tauranga to get to Papamoa, and encountered this gentleman on State Highway 2. It's about 80 kilometres an hour where we were driving, so it is a busy stretch of road, and we encountered him in some challenging circumstances. And
I mean, 80 Ks, that's a fair clip. And also, I gather, I'm kind of picking up where you were on a Saturday afternoon. I could imagine it was busy stretch of road. When you first saw him, Tom, and did you and Hannah go, what's this geezer doing? Or what was your first thought?
I'm going to be honest, Leah. I didn't think a lot. My instincts really kick in. I used to be a volunteer firefighter,
right?
And I've seen similar sort of circumstances, and I just knew this was, there was a recipe for disaster waiting to play out here, and I just pulled over, still in one of the lanes, put my hazard lights on, and I jumped out of my car, and thankfully a number of others came to help as well. I want to be really clear. It wasn't me. It was a collective effort of the community who really chipped in and helped this poor guy who was in a really terrible situation. And just shows you that there is some good in humanity out there, that people were willing to help and look out for him. And thankfully we had a positive outcome in the end.
So, Tom, media says reports say he was quite young, and that he was in a distressed way. How young do you think he was? And I mean, you don't know the guy, so I'm gathering, but distressed in what way? Do you think was he on something, or what do you think it was?
I'm a relatively young guy myself. I'm 28 years old, and he would have been, sort of similar age range to me, I imagine. I don't really want to go into too many details about him, trying to respect his privacy a little bit, but he was in a really distressed state, and he was obviously facing some personal challenges himself, and made a decision to be where he was that day. And
right, I see.
Just a group of us did what we could to help and support him.
Which is great. So that is good. So there wasn't just you, Tom. There was a few other bystanders that stopped and also helped. And then, of course, the police were called. I suppose they were called quite early. How long did they take to get there, Tom?
Yeah, so there were a number of people who helped in different ways. Myself, I hopped out and was speaking with him and talking with him and conversing. Another guy came and was joining me in that. A number of others had parked their vehicles in lanes on both sides of the state highway to try and help slow down traffic. And so to make people aware. So people contributed in different ways, and people, there were people calling 111 and things like that. So everybody made a contribution in their own way. The police, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't looking at my watch at the time.
No, cool.
I don't know. I know we were out there for 20 odd minutes at least, and the full credit to the police when they came, because the police officer that came, and he just knew how to deal with the situation, handle it. Took the gentleman himself and was going to be taking him to the hospital for further support. And so, I just want to say a massive thank you to the police for their efforts that day as well. They did a great job.
And Tom, you're as you said, you're a young man to be in politics, and good on you. You know, we don't want everyone when he's age, even though I'm not picking on Winston. How do you think, Tom, your party's going? How do you think National's going?
Yeah, I am a young man. I'm 28. I'm the youngest MP in the National Party and in the government. I pinch myself that I have this opportunity at my age to serve my community where I grew up. You know, the electorate I'm representing is where I grew up, where I went to school, where I've lived most of my life. So it's really special for me to do this job. You know, I think the government's on the right track. I think I view the country like a big ship, and it takes a lot of small turns to get it turned around. And I think we're doing that. I think we're getting it in the right direction. Yes, there's always room for improvement, but I think, you know, ultimately we're doing a really good job. We're focused on, I think, what the key issues are facing most New Zealanders, you know, things like cost of living and crime, and making sure we've got good transport networks and access to quality healthcare and a good quality education system. So, yeah, I think we are heading on the right track. But ultimately, I do my best in my local community to be the best local MP I can, and then make my contribution to the National Party and to Parliament as well.
It's as you would have seen and know, Australia has just voted Labor back in, and I saw Kieran McEnulty was actually there to celebrate with Albanese, and he believes New Zealand wants the same, i.e. Labor back. What do you say to that, Tom?